taken inside the 15, middle of the field by Brandon Peeler. Out across the 25, steps out of a tackle, but pulled down up at the 34-yard line. So very respectable field position for Gaffney to scrimmage, getting this game underway.
And he's stopped down there by number 44, does not appear on my roster of the Spartanburg Vikings.
So first down and 10 for Gaffney, working from its 34-yard line. The Indians will work from right to left here in the opening quarter of this football game. Gaffney coming in at 10-0 overall, 5-0 in the region. Gaffney, same region mark, or Spartanburg, same region mark, 9-1 overall. Gaffney straight to the line of scrimmage. We operate from the shotgun, 3 wide, slide right. 4 down linemen for that Spartanburg defense. Long play count. Fred Littlejohn. Play action. 1 looking to throw. Rolls the pocket right. Under pressure. Throws back into the middle and incomplete. Trying to go to Bradshaw. Littlejohn out across the 40-yard line, but the pass underthrown.
Well, it was a good faked handoff, Fabian, but just a little bit short. He tried to go to Bradshaw.
Well, Fred coming into this game having completed 47% of his passes last 2 football games, a combined 15 of 27 for 251 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 of those last week. To Brandon Peeler on strikes of 47-34 and 3 yards. Second down and 10, Gaffney working from its 34-yard line, opening series of the game. Gaffney 3 wide, slot left, I formation behind Littlejohn, the junior quarterback. Fred barking out the play call at the line of scrimmage as the offensive line comes set in their respective 3-point stances. Fred gets a snap, turns, hands it off to the deep back. Brian Martin slices over the right side, out across the 40 and up to the 41-yard line goes Martin. A pickup of 7, third down and 3 coming up for the try.
Tackle made by Lance Wardlaw, help from Jeff Gibbons. Let's go to Ron Oidby.
Right side of that offensive line, Robertson and Millwood that time opening the hole for Martin, who last year, well chronicled by now, 310 yards on 36 attempts in his first varsity start. Third down and 3, Gaffney working from its 41-yard line, right side hash mark. Spartanburg 4 down linemen, 4 wides for Gaffney, 2 to each side in the spread set. Fred Littlejohn from the shotgun, 1 awaiting the snap, gets it as the play clock was about to expire. Fred looking to throw, fires over the middle. This is caught by Brandon Peeler, trying to forge his way up to the first down marker and tackled over the 45-yard line, and we've got the first down by a yard.
Yeah, very close. Let's go to Ron now.
Dennis, of course, a couple of players not in the game tonight. Keon Gertner and Brad Studevance on crutches tonight with a high ankle injury.
And, of course, Keon, as we've talked about, number 2 as far as the receiving and number 2 rusher. Big loss for this Gaffney team out for the remainder of the year with that knee injury. So the drive stays alive for Gaffney. Opening stage of this football game. First and 10, Gaffney from its 45. Ball spotted right hash mark. Staggered eye for the drive. The fullback Byers offset to the right side. 3 wides and a slot to the left. That's the wide side of the formation. Fred Littlejohn gets a snap, short drop, looking to throw. Has nothing there. Going to roll to the Gaffney sideline. Throws over the middle. Tron Thompson makes the catch. He's to the Spartanburg 40 and tackled along the Gaffney sideline at the Viking 38-yard line. And the Indians are in Viking territory. First drive of the game.
Jerry Brown makes the tackle for the Vikings, but good real estate there.
Well, Thompson's 7th reception of the year came into this game averaging just over 12 yards per catch. Second first down opening drive for the Tribe. Line of scrimmage inside the Spartanburg 30-yard line, far side or right hash mark. Gaffney breaks a huddle and fans out at the line of scrimmage. Same formation as we saw in the previous play. Fred Littlejohn barking out the play call at the line of scrimmage has Bradshaw Littlejohn, the wide receiver, to the right side. Now we go back into the straight eye as Byers shifts and lines up in front of Brian Martin, the deep back. There's a snap. We turn, give it to Brian, trying to take it right up the gut. Gets a yard down to about the 37-yard line. Second down and 9 coming up.
Jeff Gibbon also on the tackle that time.
Now Gaffney averaging 209 yards per game on the ground. 47 offensive touchdowns for Gaffney this year. 30 of those coming on the ground. The Spartanburg defense giving up just over 186 yards per game this year. That includes 93 yards and change per game. Spartanburg yielding 3.2 yards a rush. Second down and 9, Gaffney from the Vikings 37-yard line, scoreless. First series of the game. Fred Littlejohn up under center. 1 gets the snap, hands off, or play action, looks to throw. Fred fires over the middle. Tron Thompson squats, makes the two-handed catch at the 25, outside near side hash mark to the 20, and down to the 16-yard line goes Tron Thompson, who's come up big on this play, or this drive, as the play covers 22 yards.
And that's where he is met by Marcus Cohen.
Well, Fred Littlejohn is connected on his last 2 passes. Gaffney started this drive from its 34-yard line. The Indians will now scrimmage at the Vikings 16. Ball spotted near center left hash mark. Brandon Peeler and Tron Thompson, wide receivers to the right. Bradshaw Littlejohn out to the left. We go with the offset eye. Fred barking out the play call at the line of scrimmage, working against the 4th down lineman on that Spartanburg defensive front. Fred gets the snap, turns, hands to Brian Martin, bounces wide to the near side to the 15, puts his head down to the 10, and tackled down at the 8-yard line, but not before Martin picks up nearly 8 yards on first down.
Gibbon to get on the stop for the Vikings.
Well, the one thing for this Spartanburg defense, we mentioned in previous 2 meetings against the Vikings, Gaffney's offense was 645 yards, coming on 82 attempts. That's an average of 7.8 yards per rushing attempt. One thing you didn't want to see here if you're Spartanburg head coach Doc Davis was watch Gaffney drive the football down the field on its opening series. Same formation for the Tribe. It is 2nd down and 3 now for the Indians inside the Vikings 8-yard line. Gaffney trying to get into the end zone down to our left at Gibbs Stadium. Play clock down to 4, down to 3 as we shift into the I. Play clock to 2. Fred gets the snap, hands it off to the fullback Brandon Byers over the right guard, and Brandon pushes his way down to the 6-yard line, which is near enough for the Gaffney first down.
Tackled by number 50.
Well, he's very close. Tackled by Eric Hughes.
And it is a Gaffney first down. So it is 1st and goal for the Tribe. Line of scrimmage inside the Spartanburg 6-yard line. Referee tonight, Tommy Stribble. He puts the play and game clock in motion. The umpire, Kurt Wyman. Dennis Falls, the linesman. Cruno, and the line judge, and Bud Tumblin is the back judge. 1st and goal, Gaffney at the Vikings 6-yard line. I, 3 wides, slot to the right side. 5 down linemen for that Spartanburg defense. Fred gets the snap and fakes the handoff to the fullback. Running the option behind the right side. Cuts back against the grain. Hit at the goal line. He's in for the touchdown. And the Indians have drawn first blood in the 83rd meeting between these schools. Gaffney 66 yards. Fred Littlejohn, the quarterback, from 6 yards in on first down. Scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Baker Boulevard in Gaffney. Sagebrush, some of the baby back ribs and the best steaks in town. Down to the Gaffney sideline, and a call to PAT. Here's Ron Owenby.
Well, getting ready for the point after attempt. Littlejohn holding, Heim kicking, it's up. It's wide to the left, no good. So with 7 minutes, 29 seconds remaining in the first quarter, Gaffney 6 and Spartanburg 0.
Now at McDonald's, 6-piece chicken McNugget, 99 cents. The 9-piece chicken McNugget, $1.59. And the 20-piece chicken McNugget for $2.99. A tasty value. Come by and be a part of Nugget Mania at McDonald's.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
Well, back at Gibbs Stadium in Spartanburg, Gaffney gets the opening kickoff and drives 66 yards. Fred Littlejohn, the quarterback, a 6-yard run on first down. Indians missed the point after 6-0 Gaffney. This Indians kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks on Highway 221 in Chesney. That's where you'll find the Ford Explorers. Twin safeties back deep. For the Vikings, Duran Mills and Kendrick Keenan. Gaffney's Rob High puts foot to leather. High end over end kick. Taken by Keenan at the 1-yard line left side. Out across the 10. Breaks a couple of tackles and is brought down about the 15-yard line. Nice downfield coverage that time by the Gaffney kickoff unit.
Goal made by Roy Dawkins. Now Gaffney's defense get a chance to show what it's all about tonight against this very explosive Spartanburg Viking offense that we've seen from time to time, or at least heard about.
And you might be able to hear the Gaffney crowd across the way chanting defense, defense, as the Indians come out onto the field. Gaffney clad in the road white jerseys, black numerals, black helmets, and black pants. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. First snap offensively. Zion White gets the snap, play action, looks to throw. He's under pressure inside his 5. Pump fakes up the near sideline and ducks out of bounds back at the 7-yard line. It's a loss of 8. Nobody open downfield. Nice coverage by the secondary.
The 7-yard.
Well, they went with a play action that time to the deep back Mike Wanamaker, and Zion White could find nobody open downfield. Gaffney's defense this year with 34 interceptions. The Indian defense has forced 51 turnovers, and the crowd continues to chant defense, defense. 2nd down and 18. Spartanburg scrimmaging from its 8-yard line near side hash mark. I formation, 3 wides and a slot to the short right side. Zion White hands to Wanamaker on the draw. Running left, spins out of a tackle at the 10, across the 15 and up to the 17-yard line before Wanamaker is brought down, and the Vikings are looking at a 3rd down and a long 8.
Brought down by Gaffney's B.J. Fowler.
Well, the Spartanburg offense this year averaging 333 yards per game, while the Gaffney defense giving up just over 208 yards per football game. Spartanburg offense last week working against Rock Hill had just 212 yards of offense. Ball possession down for the Vikings. Zion White playing action, looks to throw. One rolling the pocket right, throws over the top of the defense, deflected into secondary and incomplete near sideline, nearly picked off with 3 plays and a punt coming up here for the Vikings on their first possession. Gaffney to get the ball back, leading 6-0.
B.J. Dover managed to tip the football.
And that crowd across the way just going nuts as that defense makes its way over to the field.
Control of it, Fabian, but I think the way it hit his fingertips, it just took a little roll.
Patrick LeMaster on the punt for Spartanburg. The official line of scrimmage, the Vikings 17. Gaffney with 7 block kicks this year. There's a snap to LeMaster. Here comes the rush and gets a line drive kick away. Brandon Peeler lets this one hit at the Viking 49, trickles into Gaffney territory, and is down to the Indians' 46-yard line. So great field position here for Gaffney to start drive number 2. 6:23 remaining in the opening quarter of play. It is Gaffney 6 and Spartanburg nothing.
Well, a little concern, I guess, because Rob High missed that extra point. Hopefully that won't come back to haunt the Indians.
Close ball games. Indians straight from the sideline up to the line of scrimmage. The Indians with the 4 wides, 2 to each side. Fred Littlejohn, the quarterback from the gun. Martin the back to his right. 4 down linemen for the Vikings. Fred gets the snap, tries to hand it off on a draw play to Brian Martin. Hit in the backfield and knocked off his feet. Back at about the 45-yard line. Loss of at least 2 yards.
Yeah, he's bumped there by Rashard Littlejohn.
Well, that's
nowhere to go.
Spartanburg defensive front staying at home. This Viking defense yielded just 151 yards last week to Rock Hill. 133 of those yards coming on the ground on 33 attempts. Meanwhile, Gaffney won at Greenwood 41-21. The Indians with only 290 yards of offense. The reason being our 5 touchdown drives averaged just 34 yards. 2nd down and 12 for Gaffney from its 44 set. Fred gets the snap, hands it off to the fullback Brandon Byers over the right side. And up to about the 48-yard line goes Brandon. Gain of 4. 3rd down and 8 coming up for the drive.
Stopped by Eric Hughes of the Vikings. Let's go to Ron.
Talking about the punt after, we just thinking the college goalposts are narrower than the high school goalposts.
Right.
You may have mentioned that.
Well, we hadn't yet, but I'm sure Fabian would have gotten to it in just a moment. But it is, you can notice it too.
So 3rd down and 8 for the Tribe. Gaffney working from its 48-yard line. We're working from the shotgun. Spartanburg with 3 linemen up there on that defensive front. Fred Littlejohn gets a snap out of the gun, looking to throw. Swing pass right side, overthrown and incomplete. Trying to go to Brian Martin in the right flat, but the pass thrown in front of Brian, not able to make the catch. And the Indians, 3 plays and a punt. Possession number 2, leading 6-0.
Well, he tried to get to it. He was about 2 steps too soon.
So Rob Heim coming on for his first punt of the evening. Rob on the season averaging over 38 yards a kick, averaged nearly 36 yards in 5 punts against the Greenwood Eagles last week. Single safety back deep for the Vikings. This punt will travel right to left across your radio dial. 5:07 remaining in the opening quarter of play. Overflow crowd and then some on hand here at Gibbs Stadium. Heim gets the snap, and the punt is away. Shield Wood is the return man. Comes up, makes the catch at a 17-yard line, and tackled right there. No return on the punt. Good downfield coverage again by Gaffney.
And that's good work, too, there, Fabian, by Gaffney's Dory Brown, who got right on it.
Well, you talk about the field position battle in the early stages of this football game. 4:54 remaining first quarter. Gaffney leading 6-0. Vikings started their first series from their 15-yard line, and here Spartanburg will start from its 17. Gaffney got the opening kickoff, worked 66 yards for a score, but produced nothing in its second drive, starting from the 46. So 1st and 10 Vikings from their 17-yard line. I set 3 wide slot right. Now we move on the right side of that defensive front and make contact with the left tackle. Billy Smith jumping across that time as penalty markers come in.
First penalty in tonight's game goes to the Indians.
Well, we saw a lot of that last week in the early stage of that game at Greenwood. Tommy Stribble gives the encroachment call against the Gaffney defense. Going back to that game last week against Greenwood, remember now the Eagles faced in a 4th and about 30 opening series. Gaffney called for roughing the punter. Greenwood turned that into a score. And now Gaffney jumps across again as the Spartanburg offensive line got set. And once again a penalty flag coming in there.
Well, just kind of overzealous, I think.
Offside, Gaffney.
So 10 yards marched off. Well, Tommy Scribble, our referee, having problems with the mic. We'll get that hopefully straightened out. So cheap first down here for the Vikings. Spartanburg now from its 27-yard line. 4 down linemen for that Gaffney defense, the 4-3 scheme. Spartanburg again shifting in. Gaffney nearly jumped off again, but we don't. I formation. Zion White turns, hands to Mike Wanamaker. Burst through the left side of the line, out across the 35 to the 40, and tackled over the 42-yard line. It's a first down as the play picks up 15 yards.
Tackle made by Roy Dawkins.
Absolutely no hesitation by Mike Wanamaker. A very quick running back hits the hole with a lot of authority. Coming into this game with 1,479 yards and 19 scores. Playing hurt against Gaffney a year ago, only carried the ball 7 times for minus 10 yards. So first and 10 Spartanburg from its 41-yard line, left far side hash mark. Zion White up under center, has a wide to each side. I formation. White with a long play count. Play clock down to 3. White gets a snap, short drop, floats a pass right side into double coverage and incomplete. Nearly caught along the near sideline at the 42 by Travis Gist.
Good protection. Brandon Peeler and Roger Logan right on him.
Well, flirting with danger right there. Gist missed the first 2 games of the season. Leads Spartanburg in receptions coming into this game with 32 for 432 yards. Of course, you mentioned Logan and Peeler on the coverage that time, each with 2 interceptions last week. Logan, a new single-season record at Gaffney with 11 INTs, breaking the record held by Keith Weber, who had 9. So second down and 10 Spartanburg from its 41-yard line left hash mark. I formation, wides each side. Gaffney with 7 guys in the box. There's the pitch left side to Wanamaker, being strung out. Still gets positive yardage up to the 45 before we knock him off his feet. Game of about 4 yards. Third down and 6 with just over 4 minutes to go. Opening quarter of play, the Tribe leading 6-0.
Dory Brown, Billy Smith and company making the tackle.
Well, Mike Wanamaker, very explosive, had 218 yards in a game earlier this year against Northwestern, but had to carry the ball 37 times in that game to do that. That's tough to do against a bruising Trojan defense. Touchdowns in that game of 30 and 35 yards. Gaffney's defense has not allowed a rushing score of longer than 7 yards this year. Third down and 7. White gets the snap, rolling the pocket right, fires sideline, overthrown and incomplete. Tried to throw the ball into the right side flat, but overthrown in Spartanburg. After a couple of first downs on its second series, is forced to punt the football for the second time in as many possessions in this game.
Well, tonight we'll also be working on other scores from other games to bring those to you throughout the afternoon or throughout the evening on the broadcast. Ernie Payne back at studio control, so be sure and stay with us.
Brandon Peeler to single safety for the Tribe, awaiting the punt from Patrick Lemaster. There's a snap to Lemaster. Gaffney comes with the rush, and the punt is away. I don't know whether we partially blocked it or not. Lands at the Gaffney 48. A Spartanburg roll down to the 40, and that is where the Indians will take over their third possession. So first and 10, Gaffney from its 40, looking for the referee, Tommy Stribble, to give us the deflection, but we never saw it, or at least I did not.
Let's go to Ron.
No, they did not touch it. The rush was so quick that he shanked it. He just kicked it off the side of his foot.
Ron Owenby on the Gaffney sideline, filling in for Kalani Jordan, Bradshaw Littlejohn. Now I believe in the quarterback spot for the Tribe, and it is. Bradshaw gets the snap, fakes to the fullback, running the option behind the right side. Pitch back to Brian Martin, has some real estate to work with. Martin up to the 50, penalty marker coming in down the field as Martin's tackled to the Viking 46-yard line, but I think this one coming back.
Could be a clip.
Flag in the play.
Well, Bradshaw now operating the Gaffney offense from the quarterback position. Bradshaw played the first series at the signal caller position last week. Then play as a wide receiver and tailback for the rest of the football game. So some time in the defensive secondary. Holding to call against the Tribe.
Holding foul on Gaffney.
So that will take the football back to the Indians' 44-yard line as that yardage is marched off from the spot of the foul. So with 3:14 remaining in the opening quarter, Gaffney leading Spartanburg 6-0. Gaffney scoring on its opening possession, taking the kickoff and working 66 yards down the field. The quarterback, Fred Littlejohn, a 6-yard run on first and goal. So first down and 6, Gaffney from its 44-yard line. Bradshaw Littlejohn calling out the play at the line of scrimmage with an eye behind him. 4 down lineman for Spartanburg. Bradshaw gets a snap, turns, hands it to deep back Brian Martin over left guard, and minimal yardage to the 45. Brian picks up a yard. Second down and about 6 coming up for the Tribe.
Tackle made by Jeff Gibbon. No score if you're just tuning in now. 2:40 remaining in the first period from Gibbs Stadium here in Spartanburg.
Brian coming into this game off the 13 attempt, 74-yard outing last week against Greenwood. Did have a 20-yard touchdown. Martin coming into the game 160 yards shy of the 1,000-yard mark for the season. 4 100-plus yard games this year for number 20. Second down and now 5 for Gaffney from its 45. Ball spotted far side right hash mark. Bradshaw gets the snap, fakes to the fullback, running the option behind the right side. Bradshaw turns the corner and pulled down up near the 49-yard line. Gain of about 4 yards. Third and short coming up for the Tribe.
Eric Hughes making the tackle. Let's go to Ron.
Well, it is 2:02 remaining first quarter. It's 6-0. The Indians over the Vikings.
So third down and 2 for Gaffney, working from its 48-yard line now. Byers and Martin in the eye, 3 wide, slot left. Spartanburg, 5 guys up there on that defensive front, 7 in the box on this short yardage play coming up here. Bradshaw up under center, gets the snap, hands it off to the fullback, Brandon Byers over the right side. Brandon's got the first down and more to the 45, to the Spartanburg 40, and down to the Vikings 38-yard line. First and 10 for the Tribe.
Yeah, tackle made there by Durand Mills. Thanks, Ron, for bringing me into reality on that one. We were, I guess, caught up in what was going on.
One of those big defensive linemen coming off the field for Spartanburg. That's Desmond Meadows, 52, the 5'10", 287-pound sophomore, who makes his way off the field. First down and 10, Gaffney. Line of scrimmage of Spartanburg 38, and now we have a stoppage of play. Referee Tommy Stribble getting to that microphone, and a timeout taken by Spartanburg, and we'll take the break as well. 1:12 remaining in the opening quarter of play. Gaffney on the move and leading 6-0. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Money magic. Making money appear like magic isn't going to happen, but we can help you make the most of your hard-earned money. Visit any branch to find out the kind of magic we can work for you. Where? First Piedmont. 3 locations in Gaffney, 2 in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Nobody does it better than we do at First Piedmont Federal. Our prime interest is you.
Well, tonight's Gaffney-Spartanburg matchup is the 83rd meeting in this series. Gaffney's won the last 2 matchups, but Spartanburg leads the series 44-35. Teams have battled to 3 ties. Spartanburg leading the all-time scoring 1,443 to 1,228. As we come back to play out the Vikings timeout, first and 10 Gaffney, Spartanburg 38-yard line, ball spotted right hash mark. Gaffney working right to left here in the opening quarter of play at Gibbs Stadium. Tribe leading 6-0 with 72 seconds to go. Bradshaw Littlejohn the snap, hands it off to the deep back. Brian Martin picks his way over right guard inside the 35 and down to the Vikings 34-yard line. Martin picks up at least 4 yards on first down.
Dropped by Durand Mills.
Battle for the Region II-AAA championship and the top seed in the upper state when the Big 16 playoffs get underway 1 week from tonight. Top seed and home field advantage throughout. Second down and 6 Gaffney at the Spartanburg 34-yard line, right side hash mark. The Vikings with 4 down linemen. Gaffney with the eye, 3 wides and a slot to the wide left side. Bradshaw gets a snap, turns and hands again to the deep back. Brian Martin over the left side has the first down to the 30, to the 25, down to the Viking 20-yard line. They say he's fumbled the football, and Spartanburg has recovered. No advancement on the fumble recovery, but the Vikings take over possession at their 20-yard line.
Very costly mistake for the Indians.
Good hard run by Brian Martin that time, but then he coughed up the football. So Gaffney's potential scoring drive wiped out there, and the Vikings down 6-0. Will take over at their 20-yard line.
And how many times have we seen that happen during the last few games?
Well, I remember that stretch in the games against Rock Hill and Dorman, a total of 10 turnovers for Gaffney. There's a snap. They give it off to Wanamaker, trying to work left side, pushes the pile out across the 25, maybe to the 26-yard line. Pick up a 6 on what more than likely was the final play of the opening quarter. Gaffney coming into this game at plus 20 in the go-away, take-away category this season, and Spartanburg plus 10. And Gaffney commits the first turnover of this game. Vikings do not have to run another play here in the opening quarter and will not. So the first 12 minutes of play in this Region II-AAA championship contest in the books. We're going to the second quarter. Your score, Gaffney 6, Spartanburg 0. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Carolina Vision Associates in the Peachtree Marketplace in Gaffney is your complete eyeglass headquarters. They can tint your glasses, make glasses from an old pair, they carry in-stock contact lenses, and you can always bring in your doctor's prescription or make an appointment to see a doctor in their store by calling 489-2016. So for fast service at reasonable prices on optical services for the entire family, visit Carolina Vision Associates. In the Peachtree Marketplace in Gaffney, your complete optical headquarters, that's Carolina Vision Associates of Gaffney.
From the heart of the upstate, you're listening to Gaffney Indian Football on WAGI 105.3 FM.
Gaffney High School Indian football is a presentation of Gaffney Broadcasting Sports through authority granted by Gaffney High School and is intended for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or the use of the descriptions of this game without the express written consent of Gaffney Broadcasting Incorporated is prohibited.
2nd and 4, Spartanburg from its 26-yard line. First play, second quarter, I formation. White, the quarterback, gets a snap, turns hands to Wanamaker over the right side, pushes the pile up to the 30-yard line near the first down yardage.
Tackled by number
And
72.
he stood up by Big Jeff Littlejohn out there.
Well, Jeff coming into this game, 7 tackles for loss this year. Last week, a couple of hurried passes, a caused fumble, a tackle for loss, and a big sack. They will not measure third down in inches here for Spartanburg. The Vikings working from just inside their 30-yard line. Ball spotted just inside the near side or left hash mark. I formation. Anthony Warden is the fullback. Had only 4 carries for 15 yards last week. The offensive line comes set. Gaffney was 7 in the box defensively. White gets the snap, turns hands to Wanamaker, and gets the first down as he pushes up to the 31-yard line as he worked off left guard. And the chains will move for Spartanburg.
By Gaffney's Trey Wood, but as you said, Fabian, not before their first down.
Yeah, Trey this year, 4 sacks, but last week recovered a fumble, had a tackle for loss and sack. There's Gaffney defense this year with 82 tackles for loss, 59 hurried and or tipped passes. It's a combined statistic kept by this Gaffney coaching staff, and 37 sacks. 1st and 10 Vikings from their 31-yard line. Wanamaker the deep back behind Warden. Wideouts to each side. Turn, they give it off left side. This is the reserve tailback. Left to the 35-yard line goes Kendrick Keenan. Pickup of about 4 yards. 2nd down and 6 coming up for the Vikings.
Darrell Richburg made the stop for the Indians.
Well, Spartanburg clad in the home blue jerseys with the Vegas gold numerals, pants, and helmets. So 2nd down and 6 for the Vikings, working from their 35-yard line. Spartanburg works right to left here in the second quarter of play. Gaffney leads 6-0. Wanamaker back in the game at the deep back spot. Spartanburg slats to the right side. Zion White gets the snap, hands it off to Wanamaker, running right. We hit him in the backfield and knock him off his feet back at the 34-yard line. Loss of at least 1. 3rd down and about 7 coming up.
Billy Smith, and a good hit there.
Well, Billy mentioned a game he had last week. He had a pair of tackles for loss and a sack. Gaffney's defense averaging 1 tackle for loss just over every 3 opponent rushing attempts. So ball possession down here for the Vikings. 3rd down and a long 6 for Spartanburg from its 34-yard line. Zion White playing action, looks to throw. Under pressure, fires up the field, and diving reception made just across the 40-yard line, but I believe maybe just a tad short of the first down, made right up there near the first down marker. Wow, I thought the official had originally signaled an incomplete pass.
He did, and all of a sudden he changed his mind.
Well, gutsy move because it was right in front of the Gaffney sideline. Gist made the reception. The Gaffney crowd across the way not happy. Change brought on the field for a measurement.
Let's go to Ron.
Well, Brian Martin seemed to have injured his left hand a little bit on that last play. He's being checked out now.
And that injury update brought to you by Carolina Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Clinic, 104A Professional Park in Gaffney. If an injury puts you along the sidelines, Dr. Frank Phillips, Dr. Walter Grady, and, of course, Dr. Rich Gardner can take care of it. Give them a call today.
Well, they measure, and Spartanburg inches shy of the first down, so Spartanburg keeping the offense on the field. 4th and inches for the Vikings from their 41-yard line. Keep in mind, Gaffney whistled for 2 encroachment calls back in the first quarter. See if the Spartanburg offense just trying to pull Gaffney off sides here. Eye set, they go with a slot to the right side. Play clock down to 19. Zion White under center. Left side of the offensive line moved early just prior to the snap, and the play blown dead. Penalty flags on the turf.
Looks like it'll go against the Vikings.
Wow. Left guard that time, rocking it out of his stance. I think it was Kelvin Lee, 302 pounds. Tough to stop that frame, and it is. A false start called against the Spartanburg offense.
Takes the ball back to the 36.
So the Vikings will have to punt the football. And that Gaffney defense comes up big here as Spartanburg unable to do anything after recovering the Gaffney fumble. So Brandon Peeler dropping back into that single safety for the Tribe. Patrick Lemaster on the punt, averaging over 34 yards a kick. Line of scrimmage of the Vikings 36. Gaffney nearly blocked 1 attempt, and now penalty marker coming in here. Let's see what this one is. False start against Spartanburg. So illegal procedure against the Vikings. Cost Spartanburg another 5 yards. So loss back to the 31-yard line. Ball spotted right side hash mark. So Lemaster waiting to snap inside his 20-yard line. Brandon Peeler has 1 punt return for a touchdown this year. That in the opener against Hunter Huss. Gaffney to get the football back, leading 6-0. There's a snap to LeMaster. Gets an end-over-end kick away. Brandon Peeler will let this one hit at the Gaffney 31. Spartanburg roll inside the 25 and down to the 20-yard line and trickles down to the 19-yard line where that is down. And a late penalty marker coming in back up the field. Darrell Richburg mixing things up with Spartanburg's Anthony Warden. And that was right in the area where our referee, Tommy Stribble, threw the flag. And Richburg making his way over to the Gaffney sideline and now has to talk with defensive coordinator Mike Biddix, who also oversees special teams. Referees now discussing this one. Well, Spartanburg clapping. This during the kick. Personal foul
against the defense.
Clip.
First down.
Blocking below the waist.
Well, blocking below the waist against Gaffney. And Spartanburg will maintain possession. Wow. A huge blow for Gaffney. Darrell Richburg, I believe, the guilty party, as he was right alongside Anthony Warden. And now Jeff Littlejohn, our defensive captain, coming out on the field trying to pump back up that defense. So the drive stays alive for the Vikings. Spartanburg from its 45-yard line, trailing 6-0, eye set. Zion White up under center with an eye behind him, wides each side. One gets a snap, turns, hands to Wanamaker, trying to bounce it wide left. We turn him back in and tackle at the 46-yard line. It's a gain of 1 for number 5. Second down and 9 coming up.
And making up for that, Richburg in there on the tackle.
That'll get Richburg fired up in this game. Darrell not happy, hands on hips as he stands at his linebacker spot for the Tribe. Darrell has scored 3 touchdowns this year. This Gaffney defense has scored 6 touchdowns this year while forcing 51 turnovers. The Indians have yet to force a turnover in this game. Second down and 9, Spartanburg from its 46-yard line. Zion White gets the snap, play action. One looking to throw, fires it out left side, going for Gist. He makes the catch at the Gaffney 25 near sideline and knocked off his feet at the Indians 23.
Well, he's hit by B.J. Dover, but not enough before that big yardage.
Well, Travis Gist had a big game against Gaffney last year, number 14 with 10 receptions for 227 yards and 3 touchdowns on strikes of 14, 13, and 38 yards. Vikings did throw for in excess of 300 yards in that matchup. So the Vikings down 6-0 here, but trying to equalize the score. First and 10, Spartanburg at the Gaffney 23-yard line, left side hash mark. Eye set with Wanamaker, the deep back. Zion White up under center. Gaffney with 8 up there in the box. White gets a snap, turns, hands to Wanamaker, up the gut, and tackled near the 22-yard line. So a pickup of maybe a yard. Second down and 9 coming up.
Tackle made by Billy Smith.
Well, the field goal kicking game for Spartanburg this year, Jason Wood, who was a 5A junior, has 4 field goals, his longest of 28 yards, and that coming last week in the third quarter. That was the only scoring in Spartanburg's 3-0 win at Rock Hill. Vikings break the huddle up to the line of scrimmage. They'll send a slot to the short side, left side. Single back behind Zion White, the junior quarterback. Play clock down to 10. That's not a factor. White gets the snap, turns, hands to Wanamaker, running left, breaks a tackle to the 20 to the 15, cuts out to the 10, puts his head down, and is tackled down at the Gaffney 6-yard line. And from there, it's first down and goal for Spartanburg.
Roger Logan. Rocky finally making the tackle, or Roger, rather.
Well, Roger makes the touchdown-saving tackle. Wanamaker has 19 of the 24 rushing touchdowns for the Vikings this year. Gaffney leading 6-0, but the lead in jeopardy here. Game clock under 7 minutes remaining in the opening half of play. Spartanburg trying to get into the end zone down to our left. Gives to the right. One wide receiver to the left, I formation. Wanamaker the deep back. Gaffney making the necessary adjustments in the linebacker core. Zion White gets a snap, turns, hands to Wanamaker, and he's tackled near the line of scrimmage.
Good work there by Billy Smith. Got right on it.
And Anthony Littlejohn and getting in there to blow up that play, and Billy making the stop. Second down and goal from out at the 6-yard line. As we mentioned, the Gaffney defense this year has not allowed a rushing score longer than 7 yards. We've given up 10 rushing scores. 4 of them from a yard out, 1 of 2, 3 times 6, and 2 others from 7. Second and goal from inside the Gaffney 6. Ball spotted left hash mark. Spartanburg offensive line comes set, high in the backfield. White with the play clock down to 5, gets the snap as we come on the blitz. They hand to Wanamaker running left, and we double team and tackle him down at about the 3-yard line. And from there, it's third down and goal.
B.J. Dover, Roger Logan, and they're on the stop.
This drive kept alive after Gaffney called for a clip
Number 92.
on the punt as we were about to get the football back. And Spartanburg able to maintain possession. Keep in mind, Gaffney opening position against Greenwood last week called for roughing the punter. Eagles turn that into a touchdown. So it is third down and goal. Ball just outside the Gaffney 2-yard line, left side hash mark as the crowd rises to its feet here at Gibbs Stadium. Indians leading 6-0, but Spartanburg looking to tie the game. Going with a full house backfield now. Gibbon, a linebacker in at the blocking back spot. White gets the snap, play action, rolls the pocket right, looking, fires into the end zone. It's intercepted and a tackle made in the end zone. It is a touchback. Brandon Peeler, maybe 13, making the interception.
Yes.
Brandon Peeler, how about that? The turnover is now even at 1. It is the 35th interception this season by the Gaffney defense, and perhaps none have been bigger than that one.
Vikings hit him immediately.
Wow, that is huge.
That's beautiful.
So the defense comes up with a big play there, and Gaffney protects its 6-0 lead with 5:20 to go in the opening half. Offset eye. Bradshaw gets a snap, play action. 7 looking to throw, has some time. Now the pocket collapses. 7's going to run the football out across the 25 and tackled there. Thought they may give Bradshaw forward progress up to the 26-yard line, but Bradshaw picks up 5 yards.
Well, good work by Bradshaw. You know, we mentioned earlier in the day about the folks who did not get tickets to this game could just come over and drive near the stadium and park and listen to it on the radio. And when Gaffney made those big plays, to honk the horn. I think we're hearing some of those as we go through the night here, Fabian.
Well, second down and 5. Gaffney from its 25-yard line. Byers is the fullback. We slot to the right. Brandon Peeler slot right in motion through the formation. Bradshaw gets the snap. There's the pitch back. Brian Martin makes the catch. Shoe tops, and he's off to the races out across the 30 and up to the 34-yard line goes Brian. A nice job by 20 that time as he was the pitchback man. Actually fielded the pitch on his shoelaces, able to make the grab and advance the football up to the 34. It's a Gaffney first down.
Yeah, it was almost on the turf. You're right. Durand Mills making the tackle.
So the drive continues for the Indians. Once again, Spartanburg third down and goal from the Gaffney 2-yard line. The quarterback Zion White rolled out to the right, threw into the middle of the end zone, and Gaffney's Brandon Peeler the interception. First and 10, Gaffney from its 35. Bradshaw the snap, turns, gives it a deep back Brian Martin, and nothing doing there. Martin stuffed behind the line of scrimmage back near the 33-yard line. A loss of about 2. Second down and 12 coming up.
Yeah, he's stuffed by Desmond Meadows.
Well, Brian Martin got his first varsity start last year against the Spartanburg team when Jameer Byers, our then tailback, was injured. And, man, you talk about getting off to an impressive start at the reservation. Brian's first carry took it 65 yards for a touchdown. Finished that game with 310 yards on 36 carries, as Gaffney had 383 yards on 53 attempts. Second down and 12, Gaffney from its 33-yard line, left side hash mark. Martin is singled back behind Bradshaw, who's up under center. Gets a snap from Beatty, actually fumbles the snap, picks it up, looking to throw. Actually, that's Fred Littlejohn 1. Fires up the field and incomplete. Trying to go to Bradshaw Littlejohn, up at the 45-yard line, but under through 7. So a ball possession down. Coming up here for the Tribe. Gotta like it when you rotate quarterbacks. One wears number 1 and the other wears 7.
Yeah.
It's tough to tell.
Yeah, you got to look hard.
So third down and 11 for the Indians. Gaffney scrimmaging from its 33-yard line. Gaffney leading 6-0. We have 3:16 remaining in the opening half of play. The Indians working left to right here at Gibbs Stadium. Brandon Peeler, Tron Thompson, wide receivers to the left. Now Jackie Leach joins that crowd out there to give us trips to the left side. That's the short side, and now we'll have to call a timeout. 6 seconds remaining on that play clock.
Timeout.
And we'll take the break as well. Don't go away. 3:16 remaining in the opening half of play. Ball possession down for Gaffney. When we come back, 6-0 Indians. This is Gaffney Indian football.
For custom framing and art at exceptional prices, be sure and see the professionals at the Frame Depot in the Bilo Shopping Center, Gaffney. With the holidays just around the corner, be sure to come into the Frame Depot and see all of the new Christmas prints arriving daily, including Mort Kunstler's latest snow print, Bravest of the Brave, and D. Morgan's 1999 Santa print. Assorted frame Christmas prints are now $14.99 while supplies last. When it comes to custom framing of that special piece of art, certificate, diploma, photograph, or memorabilia, the Frame Depot experts can provide professional guidance and coordination with your decor. The Frame Depot, 1107 West Floyd Baker Boulevard in the Bilo Shopping Center, Gaffney.
Well, alongside Dennis Fowler, Ron Olby field. This is Fabian Fuentes from Gibbs Stadium in Spartanburg. 3:16 to go first half. Gaffney leading the homestanding Vikings 6-0 as we come back to play. 3rd and 11 for Gaffney from its 33-yard line. Fred Littlejohn, the Gaffney quarterback from the shotgun. One gets the snap, looking to throw as Spartanburg rushes 3. Fred's under pressure back inside his 15. Now going to run the football out across the 20, the 25. Pump fakes with the right arm out across the 35 to the 39 and tackled along that Gaffney sideline there, about 6 yards shy of the first down. Punt the football.
Travis Gist in on the tackle. You might remember that name from last year.
Yeah, Gist had the big game against us, and we heard Coach Davis talking in his pregame interview with Ron tonight that we'll see some of those Spartanburg wide receivers in the defensive secondary, and we saw that right there with Gist. So Gaffney unable to do anything after coming away with the interception in the end zone. Gaffney getting a first down, but now we'll have to punt the football.
I am kicking to Wood.
Rob Heim looking to do the honors. Shield Wood is the single safety for Spartanburg. This kick will travel right to left across your radio dial. Heim awaiting the snap inside his 30-yard line. Ball spotted left hash mark. There's the snap. Here comes the rush from the outside by Spartanburg, and Heim gets the punt away. Wood coming up, makes the catch and calls for the fair catch at the Spartanburg 35-yard line.
And Dory Brown was right there at home with him knocking on the door.
So that is where the Vikings take over with 2:56 remaining in the opening half of play. It is Gaffney 6 and the Vikings nothing. Gaffney got the opening kickoff, drove 66 yards. Junior quarterback Fred Littlejohn, a 6-yard run on 1st and goal. The point after no good, wide to the right. That's been the only scoring in this game. And that game summary brought to you by Fats Cafe of Gaffney, where you'll enjoy special lunch items from $4.99 to $5.99. Call them at 488-0310. 1st and 10 Spartanburg from its 35-yard line. 3 wides, I formation. Zion White gets a snap, turns, and hands it off to Wanamaker running left side out across the 40 and tackled up near the 42-yard line. So Wanamaker picks up 7 yards on first down here.
Yeah, and it was just ridden down by B.J. Dover.
And Wanamaker has injured, I believe, his left knee.
He is limping off the sideline, off to the sidelines.
As 5 bends over, making his way off to the Spartanburg sideline. It was a very physical game for Spartanburg against Rock Hill last week, and having to play another physical team here in Gaffney tonight. So 2nd down and 3 for the Vikings. Zion White gets the snap, turns, hands it off to the reserve deep back, trying to work right and gets maybe a yard up to the 43-yard line, and nothing after that as Keenan was on the carry. The number 2 rusher coming into this game for Spartanburg, 75 carries for 402 yards, had 4 yards on as many rushing attempts last week.
Well, Gaffney's Anthony Littlejohn in there on the bottom from a host of Indians who got there.
So 3rd down and just under 2 for Spartanburg, working from its 44-yard line. Mike Wanamaker out of this football game right now as he's being attended to on the Spartanburg sideline. Zion White up under center. Gaffney linebacker showing blitz. Now we drop off. Wanamaker under center. Play clock down to 2. White gets the snap, turns, hands it off to the deep back. Keenan, and nothing doing there. Trying to work left and tackled up at the 44-yard line. Short of the first down. Brings up 4th and a yard.
Gaffney's Roger McIntosh in there.
Well, Rocky, one of the hardest hitters on this Gaffney defense. McIntosh coming into this game with 365 tackle points this year to lead that Gaffney defense. Game clock in motion, down to 73 seconds remaining in the opening half of play. 4th down and 1. Spartanburg now brings on the punt team. Slight bit of hesitation as Spartanburg thought about going for it here, and now a timeout on the field. And it's taken by Gaffney. Indians
timeout. Gaffney.
Reserve some time on that clock. 1:02 remaining in the opening half of play. It's Gaffney 6 and the Vikings 0. This is Gaffney Indian football.
It's the early holiday shopping sale at Buford Street True Value. You find the box Christmas cards, $249. 202 Pine Master Mechanic. Yes, it's the 202-piece Master Mechanic tool set with toolbox for $39.99. All at Buford Street True Value, 101 North Grenard, the corner of Grenard and Buford Streets. Open 8 till 8 Monday through Friday, Saturday 8 till 6, closed on Sunday. Buford Street, True Value Hardware, Gaffney, South Carolina.
Well, back at Gibbs Stadium on the campus of Wofford College in Spartanburg. Glad to have you with us tonight. This Region II-AAA championship game with 1:02 remaining in the opening half of play. Gaffney leading Spartanburg 6-0. Gaffney to get the football back. 4th and 1 for Spartanburg. The Vikings in punt formation. Line of scrimmage, the Spartanburg 44-yard line. Ball spotted near side hash mark. LeMaster at punt formation for the Vikings. That front line comes set. There's a snap. Here comes the rush from the outside. Lemaster gets the punt away. Not a very good effort. Angling to the far side. Hit to the Gaffney 32, but another Spartanburg roll down to the 25. Has a little bit of juice left and down near the Gaffney 21-yard line. And that is where the Indians take over with 49.7 seconds remaining in the opening quarter of play, or opening half of play, pardon me. Gaffney leading 6-0. Only 2 turnovers in this game, 1 for each offense, but coming in critical spots. Gaffney fumbled down at the Spartanburg 20-yard line with the Vikings recovering, and then Spartanburg on a 3rd and goal from the Gaffney 2-yard line. Zion White intercepted in the end zone by Gaffney's Brandon Peeler. Fred Littlejohn and the quarterback for the Tribe has an eye behind him. Fred gets the snap. Hands it off to Brian Martin on a draw play. Steps out of the tackle of the line of scrimmage, still on his feet, and a hard-fought 1 yard up to about the 22-yard line.
All that effort for nothing.
Well, I invite you to stay tuned. In 36 game seconds from now, we'll go down to the sideline. Ron Owenby will get some comments from Gaffney head coach Joe Montgomery on the events of the opening half of play. We'll also take a look at the scores from other games tonight. And take a look at opening half statistics. Other region games tonight. This is the final night of the regular season. 7th-ranked Rock Hill and 8th-ranked Northwestern doing battle at District 3 Stadium. Boiling Springs hosting Burns, and 9th-ranked Dorman, a non-region game, hosting Easley across town here. Second down and 9, Gaffney with less than 10 seconds to go first half. Fred Littlejohn, play action, looking to throw. Pocket collapses from the front side, and Fred gets hit. He's sacked. He hangs onto the football, however, as the sack takes it back to the original line of scrimmage. But that the final play of the opening half. Each team with a turnover, but it's Gaffney that goes into the locker room with a 6-0 lead over the homestanding Vikings. Let's go down to the field now.
Top of the
Need money fast? BF Motor Credit offers small loans starting at $300. Fast friendly service is guaranteed within 30 minutes. No appointments are needed. BF Motor Credit, located at 421 North Limestone Street, downtown Gaffney.
It's not a pot you...
Buford Street True Value and Home Medical Equipment is open and ready to serve you. We offer a full line of hardware items to help you with all of your home fix-ups. We also offer a complete line of housewares, toys, and gifts for that special occasion. So come see us today at the new bigger and better Buford Street True Value, 101 North Grenard Street, Gaffney.
By the way, the 2-quart is the size...
It's a great time to visit Wallace White Pontiac GMC during Closeout 99. Save thousands of dollars on all remaining 1999 models. We also have dependable pre-owned vehicles. Technicians are on hand to take care of any repairs your vehicle needs. Take advantage of 0% financing on select models. To better serve you, we are relocating to 730 Chesney Highway in Gaffney. Come see us and talk to one of our friendly salespeople today.
But then what...
Daniel's Den of Flowers is proud to sponsor the Gaffney Indians football team. Delivery is available and free for hospitals and funeral homes. Rental for wedding equipment is also available. Daniel's Den of Flowers, serving Gaffney and Blacksburg, where quality and service is our motto. 313 North Limestone Street, downtown Gaffney.
I need to get the forks out of the way.
Yes.
I dropped my strawberry.
See, Sue is really not good with straw...
valuable, so the Tide Car Wash is fast. A clean car in about 15 minutes. We don't use brushes, just naturally gentle chamois cloths. Washes start at $9.95, or choose the value of the manager's special. Full wash, 2 coats of polish, 1 coat of sealer, underbody rust inhibitor, plus tire gloss and interior fragrance. All for only $16.95. The Tide Car Wash with the exclusive 24-hour rain guarantee. 1606 West Floyd Baker, next to the Gaffney Ledger.
Field to kick for the Vikings, and one of those, I believe a 23 who we do not have on our roster, but the second half is underway. Rob Heim, squib kick down the field, taken by one of the Spartanburg Upmen at the 25, angling to the left side and down up at the 32-yard line. Kind of an awkward move that time, but they'll say the yard return out to about the 31-yard line.
Roger McIntosh in on the tackle.
Well, let's see. Mike Logan, the talented running back for Spartanburg, came out on the field with a team here to warm up, or actually did not warm up for the second half. Still in his, still has his shoulder pads on, but being attended to by the Spartanburg training staff. They're on the opening kickoff here. So first play, third quarter for Spartanburg. Vikings scrimmaging from their 31-yard line. Now a stoppage of play. Our referee Tommy Stribble coming in, and looking at that flap jacket being worn by the quarterback Zion White. Sticking out there looking like a party favor, and now they're pulling out one's jersey and putting it over that flap jacket, which was exposed. So they get that equipment situation taken care of, and about ready for the initial snap here in the third quarter. 6-0 Gaffney. Indians forward down lineman on the defense. Zion White gets the snap, looks to throw. Rolls the pocket right. Right-hander firing over the top of the defense. And this is caught by Gist at the Gaffney 34-yard line. Right hash mark. And drives to the Gaffney 26-yard line.
And that's where he's dropped by McIntosh.
Only 3 completions for Spartanburg in this game, but all those going to Travis Gist. 14, as we mentioned, missed the first 2 games of the season. The 14-7 loss at Union, and in the week 2, 41-0 victory at Westside. So one play, and Spartanburg into Gaffney territory, down to the Indians' 26-yard line. First down and 10 from there. Spartanburg with the spread set, 2 wide receivers to each side. Blown back is Kendrick Keenan, who gets the handoff, trying to run right, and stuffed after a gain of 1 down to about the 25-yard line.
Billy Smith on the tackle. Some help from Gaffney's Anthony Littlejohn.
Anthony coming into this game leading Gaffney in tackles for loss with 16. Front 4 for the Indians, only 1 senior, that being Billy Smith. And of course only 4 seniors in the starting lineup for the Gaffney defense tonight. 2nd and 9 for the Vikings. Eye set. Zion White gets the snap, hands it off on a draw play to Keenan. Going to bounce it out to the left side, out to the 20, and tackled from behind at the Gaffney 16-yard line. Should be enough for a Spartanburg first down.
Tackled by B.J. Dover.
Now the Vikings trying to work into the end zone down to our left. First possession, third quarter. Keep in mind, Spartanburg in the opening half had a 3rd down and goal from the 2-yard line, but Brandon Peeler came away with an interception in the end zone for Gaffney. Referee Tommy Stribble calling for a stoppage of play. He'll bring the chains on the field for a measurement. Once again in the first half, both Gaffney and Spartanburg running 23 plays from scrimmage. The Indians totaling 114 yards and Spartanburg 90. 1 turnover each way in the first half. Chains are extended, and Spartanburg a first down by the nose of the football. And as we mentioned earlier, the field goal kicking game, while Gaffney's Rob Heim has 7 on the season, including a season-long 42-yard effort last week against Greenwood. Jason Wood for the Vikings has 4 field goals, but along at 28 yards, and that coming last week, the only scoring in a game against Rock Hill. So first down and 10 for the Vikings at the Gaffney 16-yard line. The Gaffney crowd chanting defense, defense. High formation, 3 wides, 2 to the right side. That's the wide side. 4-3 scheme for Gaffney. Zion White turns, hands it off to the deep back Keenan, and nothing doing there as he's hammered near the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and long coming up.
It's that Indian defensive brick wall.
Second down.
And, of course, we have yet to see Mike Wanamaker. Though this is the early stage of the third quarter, we're working to get you an injury update on him. Wanamaker injuring a knee late in the opening half of this game. And with about 2 minutes to go in the first half, and did not return. Two wide receivers down to the right side. Carlos Murray, they'll slot Gibbs to that right side and split back set. Zion White, snap, straight drop, come with a blitz, and Jeff Littlejohn tries to come up with a sack as the ball thrown left side, incomplete. But they're going to call intentional grounding, I believe, on Zion White as 72.
This offense, 5-yard penalty, spot, lost it down.
And that is a huge, huge blow, because that is 5 yards from where White threw the football, which I believe is out at the 28-yard line, and takes the ball out to the 33.
All right, let's go to Ron Obie. I think he has an update that we're looking for.
Well, the word on Wanamaker is that he may not return. They may hold him out. Seems he has injured that knee once again. He's still limping, but no official word whether or not he'll play again tonight.
Well, a huge play here. Third down and a bunch for Spartanburg from their 33. White gets the snap, looking to throw, fires over the middle, caught by the tight end, but the tackle made immediately down at the 26-yard line, well shy of the first down.
On it.
So fourth down and a bunch coming up here. It was fourth and...
Tackled by number 56.
Or it was third down. Prior to that play, they didn't even put the yardage up there on the scoreboard, which is why I was a little lost there. So we're looking at a fourth down.
25.
Well, they say fourth down and 25 on the public address system here. That's off. How about fourth down and about 20? That's what they put up on the board now. So fourth and 20 for Spartanburg at the Gaffney 26-yard line, near side hash mark. White gets the snap. Straight drop, looking to throw. Under pressure, rolling right. Lofts a pass. Right sideline. Deflected and incomplete inside the 10-yard line. Trying to go to Travis Gist inside the 5. But Gaffney had the inside man coverage and able to deflect the pass. And I believe, Dennis, it might have been 13. And
Brandon
Gaffney
Peeler
takes over on downs.
Yeah, Brandon Peeler out there.
First and 10.
So after a first and 10 at the Gaffney 16-yard line, Spartanburg turns the ball over on downs at the Indians 26. So Gaffney now on the field for the first time in the third quarter. Straight from the sideline to the line of scrimmage. Gaffney the spread set. Two wide receivers each side. Fred Littlejohn up under the center. Beatty gets the snap. One straight drop looking to throw. Spartanburg rushing 4. Going over the top of the defense. Bradshaw Littlejohn double coverage and incomplete. Incomplete inside the Viking 35-yard line as they had a party around 7 that time trying to deny him the football.
Well, it sure was. Jerry Brown was in there. Also Duran Mills.
Well, Bradshaw last week had 1 reception for 9 yards. Bradshaw coming into this game with 15 receptions, has 2 touchdowns via the airwaves. Gaffney's offense this year with 10 touchdowns coming on plays of 41 yards or longer. And as we mentioned throughout this week, Gaffney with 18 touchdowns on scoring drives that have covered 47 yards or less. But second and 10 for Gaffney from its 26-yard line near side hash mark. Fred Littlejohn from the gun. 1 gets a snap. Spartanburg rushing 4. Fred throwing over the middle. Incomplete. Dropped by Brandon Peeler. And a penalty marker, or is that a shoe? Back by Fred, it's a shoe on the defensive lineman for Spartanburg. Well, coming out of his shoe that time. So ball possession down coming up here for the Indians. Third down and 10 for Gaffney from its 26-yard line. 8:43 remaining in the third quarter. It's the Indians 6 and the Vikings 0.
Let's go to Ron.
You may have noticed Wanamaker was in on the last play offensively for the Vikings.
Third down and 10 for Gaffney from its 26. Right hash mark. Bradshaw, one of the 3 wide receivers to the left side as he goes in motion to that side of the field. Spartanburg with 3 down linemen, and they rush now 4. Fred looking to throw. He's under pressure. 1 look in, hit as he throws into the left flat and incomplete. So 3 plays and a punt here for Gaffney on its opening series here in the third quarter. So after taking over on downs, the Gaffney offense able to gain no yardage, and Rob Heim coming on to punt the football for the Indians. Sheil Wood is the single safety for the Vikings. This Gaffney kick will travel left to right across your radio dial. Line of scrimmage by Gaffney 26. Gaffney gets in that tight formation, then fans out. And now penalty markers coming in as the play clock got down to 0.
Delay, just offense, 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
So delay a game against the Tribe. They've got play clocks here at Gibbs Stadium, which they do use for the high school football games. Of course, Gaffney not accustomed to that. And, of course, Spartanburg won game this year, getting called for delay of game. And as Spartanburg coach Doc Davis told me earlier this year, he told his quarterback, just look at the play clock. So loss of 5 for the Tribe. But Rob Heim gets the snap, and the Gaffney punter gets an end-over and kick away, drifting to the left side. Hits up at the Gaffney 45, trickles into Spartanburg territory, and is down to the Vikings' 48-yard line by Gaffney's Tron Dawkins.
48-yard line.
So Spartanburg starts from its 48-yard line.
28-yard line.
With 8:25 remaining in the third quarter. Vikings 6-0.
Coming up tonight following this game, it is the Friday night high school football scoreboard with Stan Olenek and company. So be sure and join us 10:30 or immediately following this broadcast.
Zion White gets the snap, looking to throw, fires to the left side. This is caught and out of bounds in Gaffney territory at the Indians' 39-yard line. Crossing pattern that time, and Carlos Murray picked up his 16th reception of the year. And for the second time in as many drives here in the third quarter, Spartanburg is in Gaffney territory.
And he's bumped out of bounds by Gaffney's Roger Logan.
Well, 2 times in this game, the Vikings have been in Gaffney territory. Once, it was a turnover in the end zone on an interception. Spartanburg's first drive, third quarter, 1st and 10 from the Gaffney 16-yard line, but ended up turning the ball over on downs. Zion White gets a snap, hands off on a draw play to Wanamaker, running left and tackled for a loss back to the 40-yard line. He tried to cut back and was not able to stay on his feet, so 5 loses a yard, 2nd down and 11.
Tackled by Gaffney's Trey Wood.
2nd and 10, no good.
Weren't sure whether we were going to see Wanamaker here in the second half. Was out on the field with the football team, but not going through any of the warm-up drills. But in there now, lined up as the deep back behind the fullback Anthony Warden. Zion White gets a snap, looks to throw. Hit as he throws right sideline, caught at the Gaffney 41, a few yards down to the Gaffney 25-yard line. And again, Carlos Murray, 81, made the reception.
And he's wrestled out by Gaffney's B.J. Dover.
Now the Spartanburg offense here trying to spread out this Gaffney defense. And the Viking offense again is knocking on the door. Ball spotted down at the Gaffney 25-yard line, right side hash mark. Vikings working right to left here at Gibbs Stadium in this third quarter of play. Line up the tight end to the right side. They'll send a slot to the left. Single back behind Zion White, the quarterback, as the offensive line gets into the three-point stances. Zion gets a snap, turns, hands to Wanamaker, stacked up after a gain of a yard as he tried to get to the middle, down to the 25-yard line, 2nd and 9.
Credit Billy Smith on that tackle, Fabian.
Well, Kendrick Keenan coming back into the Spartanburg lineup, and Wanamaker 5 coming out of the football game. Kendrick Keenan in the first half had 3 carries for 6 yards. Wanamaker before the injury, 13 carries for 56 yards. This for the Region II-AAA championship, the final week of the regular season, as the postseason gets underway a week from tonight. The tight end, Steve Prochak, lines up as the tight end right side. Slot to the left, staggered eye. White hands it off on a draw play to Keenan, and he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage, back near the 28-yard line. Loss of 3, 3rd down and 12 coming up as we've got 7 minutes to go, third quarter.
Jeff Littlejohn right on the money on that one.
Now, the thing you've got to be careful of with Wanamaker, who's now coming back into the football game, although he comes into this contest with only 7 receptions, he did have one of those last week, good for 48 yards. Against Gaffney, had 19 carries for 107 yards and had 2 touchdown runs. Gaffney crowd rising to its feet across the way. 3rd down and 13. Spartanburg from the Gaffney 28. Swing pass right side. Wanamaker makes a juggling catch out of bounds back at the 31-yard line. So if they rolled out a catch, that's a loss of 3. And they do roll a catch, but it is a loss of 3. So 4th down and at least 15 coming up here for the Vikings.
4th down and 15 from the 30.
Wanamaker making the pass reception that time, but a loss of yardage. Ball back out to the Gaffney 30-yard line. 4th down and 15 from there for Spartanburg. Vikings failed to convert a 4th and 15 on their previous possession. Zion White gets a snap from the shotgun, short out, 1 under pressure, and he's sacked. They sack him out across the 40-yard line.
Roger McIntosh, candidate for the blast of the game tonight.
Well, McIntosh came in and got the sack. Last week he had 3 big hits for this Gaffney defense.
40-yard line.
And the defense here for the second time in as many possessions here, guys, bent but did not break. It's a 6-0 Gaffney lead with 6:21 remaining in what has been a slow progressing third quarter of play. So back-to-back series, Spartanburg unable to convert on a pair of 4th and long situations. 1st and 10. Fred Littlejohn gets a snap for Gaffney, tries to hand it off to the deep back Brian Martin, stacked up with the line of scrimmage. They may have say lost the yardage back to the 40. If he did, it's a loss of half a yard. 2nd down and long coming up.
Stop by Brooks for no gain.
A lot of eyes on this game tonight. A lot of you listening to us in other stadiums across the upstate. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope your game is exciting as this one.
Well, Millwood and Robertson on the right side for that Gaffney offensive line. Huff Stetler, the left tackle. Gilbert, the left guard, and Beatty in there at center as he gets up over the football. Eyes set for the Tribe and wides each side. 2nd down and long. Fred Littlejohn gets a snap, straight drop, looking to throw. Pocket collapses. Fred's in trouble. Throws with 2 guys hanging on to him and incomplete. As Fred trying to throw left side. So a ball possession down coming up here for the Indians.
Fred trying to get rid of it. He was trying to find someone to throw it to.
Well, Gaffney, no yards in its first possession, third quarter. This is the second possession. No yardage here for the Tribe. Spartanburg has gotten into Gaffney territory on its first 2 possessions here in the third quarter, but no points on the scoreboard. Deep penetration inside the Gaffney 30-yard line. So the Indians with a ball possession down here. 3rd and 10 for the Tribe from its 40-yard line. Got 4 wides, trips to the left side. Fred Littlejohn from the gun, Martin the back to his left. There's a snap, Spartanburg rushing 4, coming on the corner blitz. Fred rolling the pocket left to the Gaffney side, throws up the field, and the catch is made at the Spartanburg 49-yard line and out of bounds, and it's enough for a Gaffney first down. Jackie Leach, number 6, made the reception, just his 3rd of the season, but it's good enough for a Gaffney first down.
And just barely across the first down marker.
Well, Leach knew where he had to go. He ran the pattern a yard beyond the down marker, or the first down marker, made the reception. And we needed 10, and we picked up 11. Leach, wide receiver to the left side. Bradshaw, Littlejohn now playing at the fullback spot. Brian Martin, the deep back. Fred Littlejohn calling out the play at the line of scrimmage. Play clock down to 5. Offensive line comes, set 3 wide, slot right. Play clock down to 2. Got to get it off, guys. Fred does with a 2nd to go. Short drop, looking to throw. Fires left side. Caught by Leach again. He breaks a tackle to the 35, down to the 30, and tackle to the Spartanburg 28-yard line. As the play picks up 21 yards, Fred Littlejohn to Jackie Leach.
And that's where he is rolled by Marcus Brooks.
Well, going with the hot hand here. As Jackie, as we mentioned, only 3 receptions this season coming into this game. And picks up 2 right here on this drive. So Gaffney on the move here. Line of scrimmage, the Vikings 27-yard line. 1st down and 10. Ball spotted far side left hash mark. Byers back in at the fullback spot. Bradshaw Littlejohn, wide receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Fred Littlejohn gets the snap, and now penalty flags come in. Play blown dead. Not a play clock violation, as that had ticked down to 4 seconds.
Illegal snap and fractions against the offense. 5-yard still first down.
Illegal procedure, the call against Gaffney. The Indians tonight looking for their first Region II-AAA championship since the 93 campaign. Gaffney wrapped it up that year, final week of play with a victory at Spartanburg, but just a few hundred feet away from here at Snyder Field, the then home of the Spartanburg Vikings and the Wofford College Terriers. So 1st and 15 from the Vikings 33-yard line. 2 wides left, eye set. Fred Littlejohn gets the snap, hands off on the draw play to Brian Martin, right up the gut, but not a whole lot there. Martin tackled to the 31-yard line. Pick up a 2, 2nd down and 13 coming up.
Ball popped loose after he was already down.
And speaking of down, Brian Martin, I believe, still lying on his backside. As he got popped that time, and I believe it is 20, still down on the turf. Keep in mind, the Indians already without the services of Keon Gerdner for the remainder of the season.
Trying to release Sanders out there.
Well, Coach Joe Montgomery coming out there onto the field. So the 2 running backs, the star running backs for each of these teams, getting nicked up in this football game. Mike Wanamaker injuring a knee for Spartanburg in the opening half, and here Brian Martin for the Tribe. We'll get an update on the Martin injury as soon as we can. Roger McIntosh, I believe, might come into the ballgame to spell Brian, but we'll take the break. 4:14 remaining in the third quarter of play. An injury timeout. The score, Gaffney 6 and Spartanburg 0. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Perry's Tire Service would like to let you know we sell all the top name tires like Cooper Tires, Unirolls, Michelin's, Goodyear's, Bridgestone's, and TurboTech. We also carry a complete line of good use tires for cars and trucks. So when your car has special needs, always think of Perry's Tire Service. Just see David, Deborah, or Alicia at Perry's Tire, located at 401 Grenard Street in Gaffney. You can telephone at 489-7960.
Well, Brian Martin, the Gaffney running back, helped off the field. It's 2nd down and 14 for the Tribe as we come back to play. Line of scrimmage, the Spartanburg 33-yard line. Fred Littlejohn, the Gaffney QB, from the gun, hands this one off on. They're going to run it on the draw play is Fred, and down to the 30. He's fumbled the football back to the 31-yard line. There's a pile up, and Spartanburg is recovered. Second fumble of the night for Gaffney. No advancement after the fumble recovery, and the Vikings take over at their 31-yard line. So a pair of turnovers for the Gaffney offense in Spartanburg territory tonight. The first fumble occurred at the Vikings 20-yard line, and this one occurs at the Spartanburg 32.
A couple of the Indians trying to reach out while they were already down and get it back into their control. It just would not work.
Wow, 6-0. Gaffney leads, but Spartanburg takes over. Zion White, straight drop one, looking to throw, fires on the inside slant that time, and it's caught, and we make the tackle up near the 40-yard line. As another reception for Carlos Murray, his third here in the third quarter of play, at 15 receptions coming into the game.
Tackled by Dory Brown.
We'll try and get an update on Brian Martin as soon as we can. That a big blow to the Gaffney offense. Martin being attended to on that Gaffney sideline. Ron will have a report momentarily. Travis Gibbs, the wide receiver, to the left side for the Vikings. Seal Wood to the right, eye set. Wanamaker, the deep back. 4-3 defensive set for Gaffney. 8 in the box. We come on the blitz. Zion White fumbles the football and falls on top of the pigskin. Back at about his 29-yard line. So a loss of nearly 10 yards, I believe.
Well, White never got control of it. I think he was going to try to do some time at the pitch back, but when he did, it fell loose. Let's go to Ron real quickly.
Well, it's Brian Martin's left knee being examined now by Dr. Gardner, and seems to be in some pain, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Injury update brought to you by Carolina Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Clinic, 104A Professional Park in Gaffney. Dr. Walter Grady, Dr. Rich Gardner, and Dr. Frank Phillips. See them when an injury puts you on the sideline.
Well, let's go defense. 3rd and 13. Spartanburg from its 29 split back. Zion White straight drop one, looking to throw, fires over the middle. This is caught by Wanamaker. He's got the first down across the 45 and tackled over the 47-yard line. So it's Wanamaker coming out of the backfield that time that made the pass reception over the middle, and it's enough for a Spartanburg first down.
Gaffney's Darrell Richburg on the tackle. Not before the first down, though.
Well, only the 9th reception of the year for Wanamaker, and Gaffney calls a timeout, and we'll take the break as well. 2:31 remaining in the third quarter. Gaffney 6, Spartanburg 0. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Children's Heating and Air Conditioning in Gaffney has been busy lately, serving customers all over the area, and they want to say thank you for trusting them with your heating and cooling needs. And now, because of a local Bryant distributorship nearby, Childress can get just about any parts in one day. Plus, they stock a large inventory of replacement parts for all kinds of brands, and they have certified service technicians on call. For more information or a free estimate, call Johnny Childress at 489-4416. That's Childress Heating and Air Conditioning, 340 East Baker Boulevard in Gaffney, your local Bryant dealer.
Week number 11 of the 1999 high school football season. A Region II-AAA title game tonight at Wofford College's Gibbs Stadium. 2:31 remaining in the third quarter of play. Gaffney leading the Vikings 6-0 as we come back to play out at Gaffney defensive timeout. The Vikings have a 1st and 10 from their 47-yard line. Only scoring in this game occurred on Gaffney's opening possession. The quarterback, Fred Littlejohn, a 6-yard run. Zion White, the Spartanburg quarterback, gets the snap, roll out right side, throws into the right flat. This is caught, tackle made immediately down near the Gaffney 48-yard line. Play picks up about 5 yards on first down.
Tackle by Roger Logan.
Well, the defense has been on the field a lot here in the second half of this football game. 3 combined turnovers in this game, 2 of those by Gaffney, and all the turnovers in this game have been at crucial points. Gaffney's had 2 at the Spartanburg, or 1 at the Spartanburg 20, another at the Vikings 32-yard line, both fumbles. Spartanburg's Lone turnover coming on an interception in the end zone on 3rd and goal from the 2. I set for the Vikings. Zion White gets the snap, looking to throw, fires into the left flat. This is caught and a tackle made after the first down at the Gaffney 41-yard line as Carlos Murray makes another reception. But the chains will move for Spartanburg.
Tackled by Tron Dawkins.
And for the 3rd time in as many possessions here in the 3rd quarter, Spartanburg is in Gaffney territory. But the Vikings have not been able to produce points on the previous 2 drives. In fact, that first one had a 1st and 10 from the Gaffney 16, but ended up not being able to convert a 4th down and long, 4th and 20, I believe it was. So 1st and 10 from the Gaffney 40, left hash mark. Zion White up under center, eye behind him, slot right. 4 down lineman for that Gaffney defense. White gets a snap, turns hands to Wanamaker over the left side to the 30, cuts outside to the 25 and tackled there. Wanamaker picks up 15 and a penalty marker coming in behind the play, and a face mask coming up here against the Tribe. So yardage to be marched on the end of the run. So not only for the 3rd time in as many possessions here in the 3rd quarter as Spartanburg in Gaffney territory, but another drive inside the Gaffney 30-yard line. In fact, the yardage marched off, takes the ball down to the Indians' 13-yard line. And from there, it's 1st and 10. Boy, there is just a massive training staff over there right now by the Gaffney training table attending to Brian Martin. Coming into the game 160 yards shy of 1,000 yards this year, but he injured a knee. Zion White gets a snap for Spartanburg, straight drop, looking to throw. He's under pressure and sacked back at about the 21-yard line. It's a loss of 8 with under a minute to play, 3rd quarter.
Jeff Littlejohn in there on the tackle. And some help, Fabian, from Darrell Richburg.
Well, there's one of 2 ways you can play this when you get in this area. You can either lay back or come after the offense, and Mike Biddick's making a statement here as he has come after Zion White in his end of the field time and time again. Another sack for that Gaffney defense coming into this game. Gaffney with 37 sacks on the season. 2nd down and 21 for the Vikings. White gets the snap, fires right side, short hops the receiver, and incomplete. Particular stuff going on at near the line of scrimmage that time. Billy Smith with one of the offensive linemen. Referee Tommy Stribble breaks that up.
2nd down and 20.
Well, I'm taking a look at this. They're saying 2nd down and 20 from the Gaffney 21-yard line, but that's not right. Spartanburg, to get a 1st down, gets it inside the 3-yard line. So 3rd down and a bunch here for the Vikings. Line of scrimmage, the Gaffney 21. Left side hash mark. Wanamaker to the deep back. Zion White gets the snap, play action. Throws back to the left side. This is caught by the tight end. We strip him of the football. It's listed to 28. A penalty marker coming in there as well. A pile up. Gaffney has recovered the football, but let's check the marker. It was thrown right in the area that we had stripped the ball away from the tight end Steve Prochak, who had made the reception. Oh, anxious times here.
A clip against the offense. Pillars of Tribe. 1st down Gaffney.
Oh, thank you, defense. So a clip caught against the Vikings, and Gaffney's defense forces a turnover. Wow, and it remains a 6-0 game. It's remaining in the 3rd quarter. Mentioned that defense bending but not breaking.
1st and 10, Gaffney at the 28.
53rd turnover registered by the Gaffney defense this year. So the offense takes over at its 28. Fred gets a snap. Lateral left side. Bradshaw drops the football loose inside the 15. Bradshaw picks up the ball, trying to hit up the field, and he does. Across the 20, up to the 30, 35, and driven out of bounds up near the 40-yard line. What an athletic play that was.
Oh, man, I thought it was gone. I could just see the ball rolling onto the end zone, and the Vikings falling on top, and there you go.
It was a lateral out to the left side. It was going to be the double pass for Gaffney. Bradshaw dropped the football, and it was batted back inside our 20. Bradshaw picked the ball up inside the 15, running for his life, advanced the football out to the 40-yard line, and a Gaffney 1st down. And that,
talk about something ugly that turned out nice.
What a way to end the 3rd quarter of play. As 3 quarters of action in the books here at Wofford College's Gibbs Stadium. We're heading to the 4th. It's Gaffney 6 and Spartanburg 0. This is Gaffney Indian football.
The gigantic $1 million furniture sell-off is in full swing at Brown Furniture Company in downtown Gaffney. Hurry in this weekend and save hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars on brand-name furniture, appliances, bedding, and electronics. It's the biggest sale in their 70-year history. Nothing is being held back. Plus, you can buy with no money down with approved credit. Bring your truck or trailer and save lots of money this weekend and have your home looking gorgeous for the holidays. All from the furniture store that offers you more. That's Brown Furniture Company, 113 East Frederick Street, downtown Gaffney.
Heart of the Upstate, you're listening to Gaffney Indian Football on WAGI 105.3 FM.
Well, back at Gibbs Stadium on the campus of Wofford College as we begin the fourth quarter of play. It's Gaffney 6 and Spartanburg 0 as we come back to play. First and 10, Gaffney from its 40-yard line. Teams at the line of scrimmage. Fred Littlejohn, the Gaffney quarterback, gets the snap, playing action. One looking to throw. Airs it out down the right side, going for Brandon Peeler, and incomplete. Tried to make a diving catch inside the Vikings' 25-yard line, but could not catch up to the football.
Well, Peeler was trying his best to get out there. Had a man-to-man coverage.
Well, the story of this game right now, while Mike Wanamaker, the Spartanburg tailback, has been able to come back in the game after injuring his knee with about 2 minutes to go in the opening half, Brian Martin remains on the Gaffney training table across the way. Brian injuring his knee with about 3:50 remaining in the third quarter. And they're still taking a look at him. And basically, with the exception of Bradshaw Littlejohn, that leaves Gaffney without a tailback. And we're having to go to the passing attack here with four wides, trips to the right side. Brandon Byers, the lone back, and he's to the right of Fred Littlejohn, who's operating from the shotgun. Fred gets the snap as Spartanburg comes with a straight rush of four. Fred looking to throw. Pocket collapses. Rolling the pocket right. Penalty marker thrown in by the referee. Throws right side. Incomplete. Tried to make a diving reception up at the 50-yard line, but our referee, Tommy Stribble, throw a marker there. More than likely holding coming up here against the Tribe.
Holding in the offense.
Well, Gaffney right here hanging on for dear life. 3 straight possessions for Spartanburg in the third quarter. All got inside the Gaffney 30-yard line, but 0 points. Twice Spartanburg could not convert on 4th and longs. And another time the Vikings turned the ball over at the Gaffney 28-yard line.
Let's go down to Ron.
Well, Brian Martin does have a slight knee injury. Worse, though, is a high ankle injury, according to Dr. Gardner.
And what's his prognosis? Will he be back tonight?
He's not sure. He wants to check in a little bit further.
All right, injury update brought to you by Carolina Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Clinic, 104A. Professional Park in Gaffney, Dr. Frank Phillips, Dr. Richard Gardner, Dr. Walter Grady. I want you to come see them when an injury puts you along the sidelines. Be sure and give them a call. They can help you. 487-5823.
Second down and 31 for Gaffney from its 19-yard line. Fred Littlejohn up under center. Hands off on the draw play to Brandon Byers. Straight up the gut across the 25, across the 30, and 2 more yards at the 32-yard line. So we need a 31. Brandon picks up 13, so third down and 18 coming up here for Gaffney. So ball possession down here coming up for the Tribe. The Gaffney defense is bent here in the second half of this football game, but has refused to break. Gaffney clinging to a 6-0 lead. That score coming on the Indians' opening possession of the game. Fred Littlejohn, a 6-yard run. Gaffney with 3 wides or 4 wides, trips to the left side. Fred Littlejohn from the shotgun. Spartanburg with 3 down linemen. The Gaffney quarterback gets the snap as Spartanburg rushes 4. Fred steps up, fires over the middle, and incomplete. Trying to go to Brandon Peeler up at the 45-yard line, who tried to make the catch in traffic, but 13 could not hold on, and now Gaffney will have to punt the football. So the Indian offense unable to take advantage after the defense forced the fumble recovery.
In punt position.
Well, now the defense asked to do their job once again.
Yeah, that gets tougher and tougher to do when you've got to face Mike Wanamaker, who can break a big one on you at any time. So Rob Heim, punt formation. Gaffney late getting a man onto the field. I think it's Byers coming in now, 36 in there. Sheil Wood is the single safety for the Vikings. It's a high snap to Heim, who able to get it down, and 22 gets the punt away. And is, considering the circumstance, a good one. Hits at the Spartanburg 45, and look at this Gaffney roll, 14 yards down to the Vikings 31-yard line. So near disaster there, but the senior kept his calm.
Yeah.
Reached up with the right hand, pulled down the high snap, and got the punt away.
To Rob right there, because, you know, Rob could have lost his cool, but he kept his composure, able to get control of the ball and boot it away. Let's go to Ron.
Brian Martin will not be back in the game tonight.
Huge blow to that Gaffney offense. Thanks, Ron. 1st and 10, Spartanburg from its 31. They've got 5 wide receivers. Zion one on the quarterback draw, but nothing doing there as he's hammered, or rather Wanamaker's hammered at the 30-yard line, a loss of 1. They sent Zion White as a wide receiver to the right side, and Wanamaker.
Jeff Littlejohn in there on that one.
Actually, the quarterback that time. So Spartanburg trying to pull a little bit of trickery, but it ends up in a 1-yard loss. So 2nd down and 11. Tough to fool Jeff Littlejohn, the junior defensive captain, coming up with a big stop there. So the fullback Anthony Warden checking back into the ball game for Spartanburg. 6-0. Game clock in motion. Down to 10:05 remaining in the 4th quarter. 2 wide receivers to the left side for Spartanburg, Carlos Murray and Travis Gibbs. Zion White straight drop looking to throw. Passing into the left flat, caught by Wanamaker, but tackled immediately on the Gaffney sideline. Up at the 35-yard line, gain of 4. 3rd down and 7 coming up here for Spartanburg.
Billy Smith making the tackle for the Indians.
Well, the winner of this game will be the number 1 seed in the upper state bracket for the Big 16 playoffs. Get underway a week from tonight. Loser, more than likely, the number 2 seed in that bracket. Of course, 2 football teams getting together here tonight that have combined to have appeared in 16 of the 18 all-time Big 16 state championship games. Gaffney with 9 appearances. I formation. 3rd down for Spartanburg. Zion White looking to throw. He's under pressure, rolling the pocket right. Now running for his life. Zion breaks a tackle and pushed out of bounds back at the 30-yard line.
Good pursuit by Dory Brown and also Gaffney's Roger McIntosh.
It is a loss of at least 5 yards. 4th down and 11 here for the Vikings.
He was scrambling for his life out there. He knew the Indians were coming. He could actually feel them moving the turf.
So the Gaffney defense comes up big, and for the first time in 4 possessions here in the second half, Spartanburg does not get inside the Gaffney 30-yard line. So Patrick LeMaster on the punt. Brandon Peeler, the single safety for Gaffney. There's a snap. Here comes the rush, and the line drive end over end kick away. Hits the Gaffney 41. Peeler's going to pick this one up at our 30, trying to race to the right side inside the 30, trying to reverse field and loses 5 yards back to the 25. That's where 13 is tackled. Brandon trying to come up with a big play that time, but loses 5 yards on the returns. 25.
It's hit by Lawrence Flynn of the Vikings.
So let's see what Coach Montgomery decides to do offensively. Our top two of our top offensive weapons are not on the field. Of course, Keon Gerdner gone for the rest of the season. Brian Martin, our running back, injured a knee and has a high ankle sprain. That injury occurred with 3:50 or thereabouts remaining in the 3rd quarter. So 1st and 10, Gaffney from its 25, clinging to a 6-0 lead with just over 9.5 minutes to play. Fred Littlejohn gets the snap, turns and hands it off to the lone back. That's Byers with 2 hands over the football across the right side, over the 30 to the 35, and tackled up near the 37-yard line. Brandon Byers picks up 12 yards. Boy, hard running that time by the fullback as he had 2 arms over that football protecting it.
Lance Wardlaw making the tackle for the Vikings.
Well, Brandon coming into this game, 4 rushes last week for 6 yards, but 26 carries for 91 yards. Keep in mind, he did have a 30-yard touchdown on a play similar to that against Northwestern. 1st and 10, Gaffney from its 37-yard line. Ball on the right hash mark. Gaffney with an I formation. Byers, the fullback, offset to the right, 3 wide, slot left. Fred gets a snap, turns, hands it to deep back Bradshaw, trying to cut back to the left side. Hemmed in behind the line of scrimmage and tackled back near the 35. We'll have to wait and see where they say forward progress was stopped. Loss of at least 2 yards on the play.
Well, Bradshaw got into trouble, nowhere to go. He was hemmed in. Jeff Gibbon on the bottom.
Yeah, Bradshaw last week had 3 carries, but minus 3 yards against Greenwood, and Bradshaw averaging nearly 8 yards per carry coming into this game. We're talking about a young man that has 2 touchdown runs of 15, one of 16, and a pair of others of 41 and 43 yards. So 2nd down and 12, Gaffney from its 35-yard line. Spread set again. 4 wides, trips left. Spartanburg 3 down lineman. Fred Littlejohn gets the snap as Spartanburg rushes 4, coming on the linebacker blitz. Fred throws over the middle, dropped and incomplete. Brandon Peeler open up at the 35-yard line, but could not hold down on 3rd down.
Bounced off his chest.
Or check that on 2nd down. Ball possession down for Gaffney. Unofficially, 2 turnovers each way in this football game. 0 points off of those for either of these teams. That game summary brought to you by Fats Cafe at Gaffney, where you'll enjoy special lunch items from $4.99 to $5.99. Call them at 488-0310. 3rd down and 12, Gaffney from its 35. Fred from the shotgun. Littlejohn gets the snap. 1 looking to throw. They come with a blitz. Pass left side, caught by Bradshaw, but tackled to the 35-yard line, which is right at the line of scrimmage. So no gain on the play, and Gaffney will have to punt the football.
Littlejohn.
Gaffney offense has done very little here in the second half of play. Got a first down on that drive, but then stalled out.
35.
So Rob Heim coming on to punt again. Keep in mind, previous snap to him was high over his head, but Heim able to reach up, pull down the ball, and get off a 37-yard effort. Shieldwood, the single safety for Spartanburg. There's a snap to Heim, gets it, and gets the punt away. High spiraling kick. Wood calls and makes the fair catch at the Spartanburg 32-yard line. So first and 10 Spartanburg from its 32-yard line. 7:30 remaining in the fourth quarter of play. It is Gaffney 6 and the Vikings 0.
Fans in the stands below us on the home side getting up and asking the other fans to get into this game. It's been a very quiet fan participating game on both sides.
Well, the Gaffney defense here will have to come up big again. Vikings break the huddle. Wide receivers left side. Carlos Murray and Travis Gist. One to the right side. Wanamaker the deep back. They hand it off to Wanamaker. Running left and tackled up near the 35-yard line. Pick up a 3 as he tried to work the left side. Second down and 7 coming up. Gaffney trying to reach in there and strip the football away.
Dory Brown on the tackle.
Yeah, Dory, the 6'3", 210-pound junior coming into this game. Number 2 in tackle points with 335. Dory has been a solid player at that linebacker spot for Gaffney in 99. Now Travis Gist, the wide receiver, out to the left side. Shieldwood out there as well. One wide out to the right side, eye set. Second down and 7 for the Vikings. They'll hand it off to Wanamaker, straight up the gut. Wanamaker up to the 40 and tackled near the 41, a few yards shy of the first down.
Jeff Littlejohn in there for the Indians.
Well, 72 reaching around and able to pull Wanamaker down to the turf. Littlejohn, 6'2", 285-pound junior. So third down and short coming up here for Spartanburg. Third down and a long 2. Vikings working from just across their 40-yard line. Carlos Murray, wide receiver to the left, as the Gaffney crowd across the way chanting defense, defense. Spartanburg with an eye as the offensive line gets set. 4-3 scheme. Gaffney with 8 in the box now. Zion White with a long play count. Clock down to 4, down to 3. White gets a snap, turns hands to Wanamaker, trying to run right. He does. He's got the first down to the 45, up to the 50, into Gaffney territory, and tackled down at the Indians' 47-yard line.
Well, he found a hole and made his way.
Thought we may have him stopped at the line of scrimmage, but Wanamaker's second effort advances the football down to the Gaffney 47-yard line. Fifth possession, unofficially, of the second half for Spartanburg. First 3 drives of the second half, Spartanburg advanced into Gaffney territory, inside the 30, but no points. .507 remaining in regulation. And
checkbook at night. But you can get a little special treatment with this.
At First Piedmont Federal, we believe in you having fun.
To me, this is fun. To them, I'm worth a loan.
And we believe in helping you get ahead.
They pre-approved my loan before I started shopping.
With a quick response, usually within a day.
We've gotten our loans from them for years.
They know us and can tailor a payment plan that fits our needs.
First Piedmont Federal, where our prime interest is you. Oh.
Unfortunately, their fame only lasts 15 minutes.
That's it.
One.
Referee Tommy Stribble.
On the 1.5 yard line.
Foul, that's roughing kicker. That's a personal foul. That's the distance. Retry.
So the Vikings here trying to break up what is a 6-6 tie with a point after try. Down to the sideline, back to run.
Jason Wood to try the point after again. The kick is up. It is straight to the uprights. With 5:07 remaining in the fourth quarter, Spartanburg Vikings. 6. This is Gaffney Indian football.
The holidays are here, and Sage Sport in Gaffney has all the hottest styles of athletic clothing and shoes on sale now. Stop in this week to find new NFL jerseys specially priced. Check out the new Russell sweatshirts and your favorite team logo. Your layaways are always welcome too. And Sage Sport has just received new Gaffney High School clothing and blankets. And be sure to save on boots by Lugz, Timberland, Fubu, and Nike. Sage Sport is open 7 days a week, so stop in this weekend and do some early Christmas shopping. Remember, your sports connection is Sage Sport. That's Sage Sport on Floyd Baker Boulevard in Gaffney.
Well, back at Gibbs Stadium, and right now the difference in this football game is a missed point after with 5:07 remaining in regulation. Spartanburg leading Gaffney 7-6. Spartanburg kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks, Highway 221 in Chesney. That's where you'll find the Ford Escorts. So Jeff Gibbons set the tee up the ball at the Vikings 40-yard line. Unofficially 5 possessions in the second half for Spartanburg, 4 of those in Gaffney territory. And the Vikings finally able to put one into the end zone. As it's Zion White, a 6-yard scoring strike in the left corner of the end zone to Travis Gist. Both touchdowns tonight have come on 1st and goal from the 6. So Gibbon, the linebacker, the right-footed soccer-style kicker, 7 approaches and gets a high end-over-end kick away. Bradshaw tries to make the shoestring catch inside the 20, does so, heads up the fumbles the football. It's out across the 45. It's loose up at the Gaffney 49-yard line. Pile up. Players all over trying to get in there to get the football. Referee Tommy Strebel trying to sort out the mess. 48 or 49-yard line. And Spartanburg has the ball.
Well, what bad luck that is. Another costly turnover.
So the Vikings, who have just claimed the lead, will take over at the Gaffney 48-yard line after the fumble on the kick return. I formation, Wanamaker, the deep back wides each side. Zion White up under center. Gaffney coming with a linebacker blitz. They hand to Wanamaker trying to run right, and we stack them up at the line of scrimmage. Though 5 tried to push the pile for positive yardage. 2nd down and long coming up here.
Well, having to pull back Lee off of the Viking squad. That's Kelvin Lee, 302-pound junior who wanted to throw some extra punches there.
Wow, you talk about going from having the football in great field position to utter disaster. Gaffney would have had the ball out across the 40-yard line, but we fumble the kick return. Spartanburg recovers. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings from the Gaffney 47-yard line. I formation, wides each side. Zion White gets a snap, hands it off to the fullback, straight up the gut, and the tackle made near the Gaffney 43-yard line. Pick up a 4. 3rd down and 6 coming up here.
Dory Brown making the tackle for the Indians.
5 yards.
On the carry, and now Jeff Littlejohn, our strong tackle, limping a little bit.
43.
Once again, the Gaffney offense severely hampered here in the second half of this football game. Brian Martin, the tailback, injured with about 3:50 remaining in the 3rd quarter and has not been back in the game. Understand it, not only to be a knee injury, but also a high ankle sprain. So 3rd down and 5 for Spartanburg at the Gaffney 43-yard line. I set. White up under center and I behind them. Wides to each side. 7 men in the box and a delay game penalty coming up here against the Vikings as the play clock went to 0.
Just the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down. 5 yards.
So now ball possession down for the Vikings. 3rd down and 10 from out at the original line of scrimmage, or very close to that. 7-6 the score with 3:25 remaining in regulation. Region II championship and the number 1 seed in the upper state for the Big 16 playoffs get underway a week from tonight. Of course, Gaffney looking to go undefeated in the regular season for the first time since '93. So the team's up to the line of scrimmage, 3rd down and 10. Zion White gets a snap, hands off on the draw play to Wanamaker running left. He's got the first down to the 40, to the 35, to the Gaffney 30, and down to the Indians 25-yard line goes Mike Wanamaker.
First down and 10 at the 26-yard line.
And the other thing you got to remember here, with 3:16 remaining in the game, Gaffney with only 1 timeout remaining.
3.
So Wanamaker rips off the big play there. So 1st and 10 for Spartanburg at the Gaffney 26-yard line. Gaffney showing blitz from the linebackers. I set Wanamaker out of the game now. They give it off to the deep back. Keenan trying to turn the corner right side. Strung out to the 20 and down to the 19-yard line goes Kendrick Keenan.
Dory Brown again on the tackle for the Indians.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unofficially 7 possessions here for Spartanburg in the second half, and 5 of those have gotten into Gaffney territory and inside the 30-yard line. But only 1 score off of those. Travis Giss, a wide receiver to the left side. He has the lone touchdown score of the night on a 6-yard strike from the quarterback, Zion White. Wanamaker back in there at the deep back spot. Spartanburg taking as much time off the play clock. Hand it off to the fullback, and we stuff him behind the line of scrimmage. Tackle him back at the 21. Ward loses 2. 3rd down and 5 coming up.
Jeff Littlejohn and Dory Brown.
So an absolutely huge play here. It is 3rd down and about 5 for the Vikings from the Gaffney 21-yard line. Game clock under 2 minutes. In fact, down to 1:48 and in motion. Indians with 1 timeout to go, or 1 remaining. Spartanburg and I set. They send a slot to the shorter right side. Play clock down to 3. White gets a snap, hands it to Wanamaker, running right, and we tackle him at the 20-yard line, so a gain of 1. 4th and 4 coming up here. Game clock down to 1:29, and now stoppage of play. So we got a penalty marker there near the line of scrimmage in the pile. Well, holding the call here against Spartanburg. And the Indians are going to take that penalty. Spot foul from where the infraction occurred. 86 seconds remaining in the football game. It is Spartanburg 7 and Gaffney 6. Gaffney scored on its opening possession, driving 66 yards. Fred Littlejohn, a 6-yard run. We missed the point after, wide to the right. Spartanburg got on the board. 5:07 remaining in this 4th quarter. A 6-yard pass from Zion White to Travis Gist. The first PAT was missed, but Gaffney called for roughing the kicker. And on the second effort, Jason Wood put it through. So 3rd down and 15 for Spartanburg. They hand it off to Wanamaker, running right, cuts it back to the left to the 25, to the 20, to 15. He's to the 10, steps out of the tackle to the 5, and it's a touchdown. It is a 30-yard touchdown from Mike Wanamaker on 3rd down and 15. And the Vikings lead this game 13-6 with 59 seconds to play.
And some of the Gaffney faithful beginning to make their way to the exits.
So 13-6, Spartanburg scoring update brought to you by Sagebrush Steakhouse, 1541 Floyd Becker Boulevard. Down to the sideline, here's Ron.
Jason Wood to attempt the point after. There's the kick. It's up. It's good. With 59.1 seconds remaining in the ball game, the Spartanburg Vikings 14, the Gaffney Indians 6. This is Gaffney Indian football.
Now at McDonald's, 6-piece chicken McNugget, 99 cents. The 9-piece chicken McNugget, $1.59. And the 20-piece chicken McNugget for $2.99. A tasty value. Come by and be a part of Nugget Mania at McDonald's.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
All right. Back at Gibbs Stadium, 59 seconds remaining in regulation. The Vikings have scored on back-to-back drives, but this one a backbreaker. Gaffney on a long kick return, fumbled the football out at its 48-yard line. Vikings recover and go in for a touchdown. Mike Wanamaker on a 3rd down and 15 goes in from 30 yards out. His 20th rushing touchdown of the season. But now the Indians can tie the game up with a touchdown and a successful 2-point conversion. Brandon Peeler, Bradshaw Littlejohn back deep for Gaffney. This Spartanburg kickoff brought to you by Ronnie Burns Ford and Western Star Trucks, Highway 221 in Chesney. That's where you'll find the Ford Expeditions. Gribben teeing the ball up at the Vikings 40-yard line. This kick will travel left to right across your radio dial. 7 approaches and a line drive kick to the near side. Picked up by Brandon Byers, racing into the middle of the field up to the 30, in all kinds of trouble and tackled up near the 38-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Gaffney from its 38-yard line with 52 seconds remaining in regulation and the Tribe down by 8. The Indians without their leading rusher in this game, Brian Martin, injured late in the 3rd quarter. Gaffney with a spread set. 2 wides each side. Fred Littlejohn from the gun. Spartanburg with 3 down linemen. Fred gets the snap. Looking to throw. Pocket starts to collapse. Fred running. Still looking right. Fires over the middle. Bradshaw Littlejohn makes a diving reception at the Spartanburg 48-yard line. Game clock in motion. Down to 38 seconds. Clock continues to run. Keep in mind, Gaffney with only 1 timeout, and now the clock is stopped. While they move the change, we lost precious seconds off that clock before they stopped the clock to move the change. And now I think they may put some time on the clock as our referee, Tommy Stribble, coming over here to the Gaffney side, or to the Spartanburg side of the field. And they may put more time up here on the clock, and Stribble will let us know.
5 seconds is what he's telling them that they want to add to the clock.
So that would go up to 41 seconds. If that is indeed what they put back up on the game clock, and that's what it is. 41 seconds remaining in regulation. Gaffney in Spartanburg territory. Line of scrimmage, the Vikings 48-yard line. Gaffney working right to left here in the 4th quarter of play. 4 wide receivers and trips to the left side. Teams at the line of scrimmage and ready to get this thing going here. 14-6 is the Spartanburg lead with 41 seconds to go. Now they put the clock back in motion. Fred from the gun, trips left. They come with the outside blitz. Littlejohn looking to throw, fires over the middle, deflected it incomplete. It was nearly intercepted. Jackie Leach, the intended receiver. Well, what Gaffney has to do here, a touchdown and a successful two-point conversion. We don't do that, we get our first loss of the season, and it will come in the regular season finale. Of course, more importantly now, and hate to keep harping on it, but with Brian Martin not only out of this game, but will be reevaluated, gotta hope he's not lost for the season. 4 wides and trips to the left. Littlejohn gets the snap. Spartanburg rushing 3. Fred airs it out over the top of the defense. Overthrown and intercepted. Travis Gist on the return for Spartanburg across the 20 to the 25, 35, 40, near side, and tackled by, I think, Bradshaw up at the 42-yard line, and that'll do it. As it is now a mass exodus out of Gibbs Stadium. 17 seconds to go, and Spartanburg comes up with the interception. Well, this is a bitter one to take tonight. Gaffney will drop to 10-1. Spartanburg will improve to 10-1, and the Vikings will claim the Region II championship. Goes 6-0 in conference play. Gaffney goes 5-1. Gone is the USA Today national ranking and the #1 rating in the